Let's see how Amiibo are about to show up.
Crash Bandicoot will also appear first, though.
A year ago, I uploaded my first video as an animated talking dinosaur, in which I spent a total of $182 just to play Skylanders Imaginators on the Nintendo Switch. I thought I was done. I thought, okay, that was fun. Time to go play something else. And then that video got 26,000 views, and someone commented, "You forgot about the Crosslanders." The what? Skylanders spearheaded the Toys to Life craze, but more than that, it was pitched as a revival to Spyro the Dragon. Did it do that right? Who's to say? So imagine, it's 2015. This dress gets dropped on the internet, Zane leaves One Direction, and Activision announces that it's partnering with Nintendo. They're bringing Nintendo characters into Skylanders Superchargers, but here's the catch. They're only playable on Nintendo systems. The Wii, Wii U, 3DS, and later the Switch, nowhere else. Look, you've got to understand, Nintendo was one of the main competitors at the time. Activision, Disney, Nintendo. Lego was a little bit late to the party, I've got a whole other video on that, and who cares about them, they're not aboard right now. There was only ever one cross-contamination collaboration, and it was Skylanders and Nintendo. And Nintendo was the only one left standing, so apparently they knew something that I didn't. Nintendo during the Toys to Life craze was unique because yes, they bought into the Toys to Life gimmick, but in reality they never had a dedicated game for their figures. Besides that one. Nintendo's Amiibos were made to be more of collectible figures with in-game functionality. A lot of the games had optional side mechanics that incorporated Amiibo functionality, but nothing was ever necessary to play their games like Skylanders and Disney Infinity and Lego Dimensions. You collected what you like. Bowser launched with a Supercharger starter pack for the Wii and Nintendo 3DS, while Donkey Kong launched for the Wii U. They were even front and center on the box art for both of those systems. But don't worry too hard if you had a Wii and not a Wii U, those two were also sold separately. Because we all know no one was going to choose DK over Bowser. But that's okay too, because no one owned a Wii U. By all accounts, these guys are not rare. They sold alongside every single Nintendo copy of Superchargers. They go for about $20 each, probably double that if you want the vehicle they came with. What is a little bit more rare are the dark variant Bowser and Donkey Kong. Those guys were only sold in the Dark Edition starter packs, which were Toys R Us exclusive, rest in peace my king. And from what I've gathered, they were not sold separately. The Dark Editions are a little bit more rare and expensive, but not by much. Bowser and Donkey Kong are the first real Crosslanders. It's one brand and company crossing over with another brand and company. People argue that Spyro and Cinder are Crosslanders, but they were there since the first game. They built the brand. They're crossing over with themselves. Everyone else was built around them. After the Nintendo collab during Superchargers, Activision got Crash Bandicoot into Skylanders Imaginators. But Activision already owned Crash. It's a Crosslander in spirit because he's technically from another series, but it's like Miles Morales crossing over with Peter Parker. They're both Spider-Man. Crash Bandicoot was an interesting case because the character had not seen the light of day in 7 years. The Skylanders Imaginators crossover was kind of the beginning of his revival. He went looking like this in 1996, then to this in 2008, and then back to this when Skylanders dropped in 2016. And then in 2017, the Insane trilogy released, with Crash 4 releasing in 2020. So if you really want to squint at it, by the time he was put into Imaginators, there had not been a mainline Crash game since 1998, because that's where the Insane trilogy ends. Super long story short, this was a big deal to all 7 Crash Bandicoot fans in the audience. Crash released alongside Dr. Neo Cortex in the Crash Edition starter pack. Unlike Bowser and Donkey Kong, these guys were not console locked, so the figures that were sold separately could be played alongside any copy of the game. This time around, Nintendo didn't partner with Skylanders during Imaginators. You see, Skylanders Imaginators launched on October 13, 2016 on PlayStation 3 and 4, Xbox One and 360, and the Wii U. But on October 20th, Nintendo announced the Switch to be released within the next 5 months. Skylanders Imaginators would be a launch title for the console. By this time, Nintendo just didn't have any interest in continuing with Activision. Around 2016-2017, Nintendo cut off everything that even slightly resembled the Wii U era. Mii's, questionable marketing, and Skylanders. This partnership just wasn't built to continue into the Switch era. Look, this is cool and all, but these are 4 specialty characters and I'm just a guy. And quite frankly, I've spent so much money on this game already, I don't know if I can... The first up was Crash Bandicoot and Dr. What's-His-Face. I've said this before, but I still can't believe how big they are. Look at him, he's huge. I'm at I have no idea who this guy is. I'm gonna call attention to the packaging because y'all know I love criticizing sellers. Donkey Kong was packed with bubble wrap. 1, 2, 3 sheets of bubble wrap. And what does Bowser get? He was just freeballing that package. In fact, the package was already open. He was one TSA security checkpoint away from tumbling out of that packaging. He had no padding whatsoever, and Bowser is the one more prone to breaking. Do you know how hard it was to find a decently priced Hammer Slam Bowser that still had the hammer attached? I'll tell you how. This video is coming out a year after my last one. I'm being so serious when I say I was 80% sure I was going to get him out of the mailbox with his hammer snapped off. Bowser and Donkey Kong are really unique as Skylanders from the fact that they're not just Skylanders. Plot twist. You think Nintendo was just going to let them license their character? No, I'm sure they got a bunch of profit off of it. But these figures double as Skylanders and Amiibo. Boom, flip them over at the bottom, they got this little spinny dial thingy. Turn it to one side, it's an Amiibo. Turn it to the other side, it's a Skylander. Boom. I really don't know how this works. This spinny dial turny thingy is really loose and it doesn't click. It just turns. And it's so funny because who uses Amiibo? First on today's roster is Bowser. Oh, he's so cool. I can't believe he's mine. I've been waiting to play as Bowser for the longest time, and now he's here, and he's finally mine, and oh, I need to reset him. There we go, now he's mine. Dude, wait, he sends out Koopa Troopas to attack? That's so cool. Oh, I love them. Oh, they're my sons. I love them so much. Alright, what's the best way to try out a new Skylander? To the arena! Oh, I died almost instantly. Ugh, hold on, I forgot I'm a baby that can't play on Nightmare mode. Right off the bat, I'll say that Bowser is super slow. And that's not really my preference when it comes to Skylanders. I'm more of a quick attack kind of guy. But Bowser's a huge heavy hitter, and I think the novelty of him being Bowser makes me kind of look past it. Bowser fits so well into the game. Look at him next to Spyro. Yeah, no, these guys belong together. What kind of upgrades do I have? I can set myself on fire. Oh yeah, it's over for y'all. Bowser is the perfect benchmark of what a crossover character should be. He could have very easily been Dragon with Big Hammer, and Lord knows Skylanders had too much of those already. But there's so much creativity with this character. First there's Bowser's basic smash attack with the hammer, and then he summons Koopa Troopas. And on top of that, you could upgrade your Troopas from green to red to paratroopers to dry bones. And you can summon them with a warp pipe. And on top of that, adding the iconic fire form that has no cooldown time and gives Bowser an entirely new move set. Bowser quickly became one of my favorite Skylanders, and if it wasn't for how slow he moves, he'd be number one. But as it stands, playing as him feels a little bit like a drag. He moves so slow, and it drags down the pacing of the game, and his snail pace makes him a lower choice for boss fights where dodging is key. But no, Skylanders cooked with Bowser. Donkey Kong. Let's see, what upgrades can I give him? No way, you could play his barrel like a bongo, like in that one game. I can blast out of it. Oh, I need upgrade. I need money. Put your hands in the air. Your money is now mine. Dude, this is awesome. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Oh, it's so over for y'all. Super Donkey Kong? Dude, what? Donkey Kong has a second form too. Oh, he's got an entirely different new moveset. Oh, this is awesome. As much as I loved Bowser, I think DK is my favorite Nintendo Crosslander. Bowser might be the better character, but I really love how they adapted DK as a Skylander. References to old games, incorporation of gameplay mechanics into attack moves, and even the sound design. When DK jumped, I heard his shouting. That's DK. That's the original soundbite, and I recognized it instantly. Maybe if I were to go back and watch my gameplay footage, Editor Dino back me up here. But when I was playing, I didn't immediately recognize Bowser's voice. Editor Dino, let me know if it's there. It might be because Bowser is generic roar number 5, but I get more out of hearing DK in this game. And I won't lie, eating bananas in Skylanders while playing as Donkey Kong is just a pure delight. And the level I played was in a jungle, so that probably helped. My overall thoughts for the Nintendo Crosslanders, they're great. I love them. They really put in so much effort, especially for being starters. They knew that anyone who's going to play the game was going to get these no matter what. So it's just awesome that they put so much effort and so much love into these characters. I don't know how much of a hand Nintendo had in the development of them. I'm sure they had a heavy hand, but it turned out really great. The next Crosslanders on this list are the ones made for the game I'm playing. I'm kind of nervous for these guys because I've never actually played a Crash Bandicoot game. From my understanding, Crash and Spyro are two of the same. They had the same niche popularity in the 90s, died, and then were brought back with varying results. Spyro was revived for Skylanders. Whether that's a good or bad thing is up for debate, but at this time, Crash Bandicoot hadn't had a new game since 2008. Skylanders Imaginators was kind of the start of the revival for this character, similar to Spyro's failed attempt with the first game, like I said, to varying results. And Spyro is my favorite Skylander. Call it nostalgia or just call it lying, but if I had to pick, it'd be Spyro. So if they can make Spyro work in this game, why not Crash? Oh, and his nemesis, he's here too. Okay, that's enough stalling. On to the game. And also play the level they unlock. We begin on Thumpin' Wumpa Island, that I'm assuming is a thing in the Crash games. Dr. Neocortex has had a major breakthrough in doing evil things. And of course, Crash is there to mess it all up. The island becomes out of sync, and the robot harshes the vibe of the island. And this talking tiki mask is blaming the doc, but I think it's my fault. Anyways, it's up to me to stop the doc's machine, or else nobody's gonna hear from us for the next 20 years. I love the meta joke there. Oh, wait, do I have lives? Yeah, look, and I could purchase an upgrade to get more. That's so cool. This has to be the only Skylander with multiple lives. That's so OP. Ooh, okay, this entire level is music and rhythm based. That's really cool. Oh, I gotta jump to the music. Jump. Jump. I meet up with Spyro, and he tells me that there's, get this, a second Bandicoot. I didn't harsh the vibe of the island. Big Tooth Bandicoot did. Yeah, the teeth should have given it away. Since we're not fighting the doc in this level, I guess it's only fair to play as him for a little while. Man, his past owners did not care about him. He's still at level 1. Me too, though. What's really cool is that the NPCs of this level have different dialogue depending as who you play as.
What I don't quite understand is how this other Bandicoot plays into whatever scheme you cooked up, Cortex. Do you have like a brother or something? Maybe some kind of crazy-looking cousin?
Will you be the unconventional hero ready to save the day, or an evil mastermind driven to save the island purely for your own personal gain? Oh, it's another rhythm section. Dang it. Dang it. Wait. Dang it. There we go, I got the hang of it. Cortex as a fighter is such a funny concept. The dude is a long-range fighter, but if the enemies aren't long-range, he'll push them away to make them long-range. And I think that's hilarious. Wait, is this a traditional Crash Bandicoot level? Oh, wait, hold on. Dang it. Dang it. Oh, come on, that's not fair. Dude, wait, I thought I had multiple lives. Yeah, maybe I wouldn't like the Crash games. Donkey Kong, save me, Donkey Kong. Oh. What? Oh, my game crashed. Maybe this is a sign. So I replayed the level to get back to where I was, and I skipped the Crash Bandicoot auto run section. Maybe it just doesn't belong in Skylanders. Just like Crash, the doc has his own side challenge in the level, which I was hesitant to do, for obvious reasons. But it turned out to be a really boring Space Invaders. And you know what? I'm good at boring Space Invaders. At the end of it, I found out that you get certain rewards for how well you do in them, and by maxing out your score, you get the Crash and Neo Soul Gems. I will not be getting Neo Soul Gem because I will never be doing the Crash section ever again. Thank you, and God bless. Eventually, I make it to the Techno Dance Hall above the island where I have my final showdown with fake Crash and Dr. Neo's machine. I then proceeded to swap into Imaginator to finish him off under a minute because fighting the boss and literally anything else in this game takes 20 gazillion years. But look, I swapped back into Crash right after and got a level up. I earned this. The team did an amazing job with Crash Bandicoot. Even though the Crash section was kind of frustrating, I think I might just be bad at the game. Oh, who said that? Oh, who got the mic? Whoa, who stole my mic? Oh, that was crazy. Y'all hear that? The Crosslanders quickly became my favorite Skylanders. Maybe it's nostalgia, maybe it's brand recognition, or maybe these characters are just that good. And even though I've never played a Crash or Donkey Kong game in my life, these guys are on top. Crash, Donkey Kong, Bowser, Manitar Stealth Elf Spyro, Dr. Neocortex. The Crash level in particular had so much love and creativity put into it. The music was awesome, the humor was hitting, I got a real kick out of they're evil because they're harshing our vibe. And all of the puzzles and rhythm sections were super fun. If you want a suggestion and you're looking to play this game on any console, don't bother getting the default characters, just get Crash and Neo. They're the exact same class as the starter characters and they're so much more fun to play as. As for Donkey Kong and Bowser, if you're on the Switch, I'd be for like spending $500 and I would be able to use the vehicles they came with.